Feel free to smash that like button or ignore it, I'm not your boss. Our story starts with Seong, a guy who is basically the CEO of bad decisions. It's his daughter's birthday, and he's at rock bottom. His mom hands him some cash to buy the kid a decent dinner. But Seong has other plans for that money. He swipes his mom's ATM card like a pro thief. Then he drains her entire account. He puts it all on a horse race and actually wins 4 million won. Plot twist. Seong is drowning in debt, and the loan sharks are tired of waiting for their payday. They corner him and give him a personalized beatdown. When Seong reaches for his winnings to pay them off, the money is gone. Turns out, his big win just vanished into thin air. He then remembers a girl bumping into him while he was running for his life. Yep, she's a professional pickpocket and he was the easy target. Since Seong is totally broke, the sharks give him exactly 1 month to pay up. If he doesn't, things are going to get a lot more painful. Seong scrapes some change together and buys his daughter a cheap meal. After that, he sprints to the train station. Of course, he misses his ride because his luck is just that bad. While he's sitting there contemplating his life, a random dude in a suit walks up. Seong has no idea who this guy is. The mystery man says, "Hey, want to play a game?" He tells Seong, "Win this, and I'll hand you 100,000 won right now." Seong hears money and immediately signs up for the challenge. After getting slapped in the face a few dozen times, Seong finally wins. He gets his cash and the mystery man hands him a business card. "If you want to stop being a loser and make real money, call this number." Back at home, Seong's mom drops a bombshell. His daughter is moving to the States with her new stepdad next year. Turns out Seong is divorced and his ex moved on to someone with an actual job. He doesn't want his kid moving halfway across the world. He needs a mountain of cash to win custody. So, he swallows his pride and dials the number on that card. Seong gets picked up in a sketchy van filled with other strangers. They all get gassed and knocked out cold. When they wake up, they're in a giant dorm with 455 other people. They're all wearing green tracksuits like a depressed high school gym class. The guy running this nightmare is called the frontman. He's watching their every move from behind a mask. The one thing these people have in common, they're all broke and desperate. Seong meets player 001. He's a fragile old man with a brain tumor. He figured he'd spend his final days playing games instead of sitting in a hospital. A fight breaks out in the dorm between two players. A girl named Sae-byuk and a massive jerk named Jang. Sae-byuk is the same girl who swiped Seong's winnings earlier. She's the reason he got beat up by the sharks. Seong recognizes her and tries to start a confrontation. Suddenly, guards in pink jumpsuits show up. Their faces are hidden behind PlayStation symbols. The guards announce, "You're all playing 6 games to win the jackpot." The last person standing gets enough money to buy a private island. They all sign a contract with some very specific fine print. Clause 1. You can't just quit when things get scary. Clause 2. If you refuse to play, you get eliminated. They're about to find out that eliminated isn't just a fancy word for losing. Clause 3. If the majority wants to quit, the games stop. They head out for game 1. Seong spots his childhood buddy, Sang-woo, in the crowd. Seong is confused because Sang-woo was supposed to be a big-shot businessman. The first game features a giant, creepy animatronic doll. The rules are simple. Red light, green light. When the doll sings, you run forward. When she stops, you freeze like a statue. You must not move a single muscle. If you twitch, you're eliminated. At first, everyone thinks it's a joke or a prank. Then one guy stumbles and gets instantly sniped. This is the moment they realize eliminated means dead. The entire crowd loses their minds and starts screaming. They realize they're in a literal death trap. In the panic, people start running, which just makes the snipers' jobs easier. The survivors somehow manage to cross the finish line. The bodies are hauled away, leaving only 201 players left. Everyone is traumatized and they all want to go home. They use the third clause to force a vote. The front man shows them the prize money hanging in a giant golden pig. It's enough cash to make them forget about the blood on the floor. But if they leave, the money goes to the families of the dead players. The total prize is a staggering 45.6 billion won. The vote is close, but the majority chooses their lives over the money. The games are called off and everyone is sent back to the city. The next day, Seong goes to the cops and tells them the whole crazy story. Unsurprisingly, they think he's off his meds. They think he's just another crazy gambler. Seong tries to show them the card, but the number is totally dead. Seong goes home, but his mom is nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, Sang-woo is secretly watching his own mother from the shadows. Seong gets a call from the hospital. His mom's foot is a mess because she couldn't afford to treat her diabetes. The doctor tells him her foot has to be amputated to save her life. The surgery costs a fortune that Seong obviously doesn't have. He even burned through her insurance money like a total deadbeat. Seong begs his ex-wife for a loan. She shuts him down immediately. Her new husband comes out and hands Seong some cash to stay away. Seong loses it and starts throwing punches until his daughter walks in. Next, we see Ali, who is just a nice guy trying to get paid. His boss refuses to hand over his wages, and a fight breaks out. The boss gets his hand crushed in a machine, and Ali grabs the cash and runs. He tells his wife to take their kid and get on the first flight out of the country. Se-byuk meets with a sketchy broker. She's trying to smuggle her mom out of North Korea. She's the one who stole Seong's money because she was desperate too. She has a little brother in an orphanage and promised him they'd be a family again. Then we see a police officer whose brother has gone missing. He checks his brother's apartment. It's clear the guy hasn't been home in days. The cop finds the same mysterious business card in the room. He tracks down Seong to ask about it, but Seong isn't talking. When Seong gets home, he finds another card waiting for him. He realizes he has no choice but to go back. All the returning players are picked up and taken back to the island. The cop follows them and sneaks onto the ship. He takes out a guard and steals his uniform to blend in. The players are back in the facility, having no clue what's coming next. They start forming cliques and teams. Se-byuk sneaks into the vents to scout the place out. She sees the guards cooking something in massive industrial pots. One guard almost catches her, but she makes it back to the dorm. She tells her friend what she saw. Sang-woo eavesdrops and starts putting the pieces together. He asks her for details about the giant pots. The players are led to a giant playground. They have to pick one of 4 shapes on the wall. Sang-woo figures out the game before anyone else. He tells Seong's team to split up and pick different shapes. They're given a tin of dalgona candy with a shape pressed into it. The goal: carve out the shape perfectly. If it cracks, you're dead. Simple as that. Sang-woo cruises through his shape. Seong is panicking because he picked the umbrella. But he realizes if he licks the back of the candy, it melts. He wins, and the survivors head back to the dorm. Only 108 players are left in the game. They're given tiny portions of food to make them hungry and angry. Jang starts a fight and kills a guy right there in front of everyone. Turns out there's a doctor among the players. He's in a secret deal with some guards to harvest organs from the dead. They sell the organs on the black market for extra cash. That's why some of the dead bodies were missing a few parts. This was all a secret operation happening under the front man's nose. They had a guy in the control room deleting the evidence. The guards would tip the doctor off about the next game so he could survive. One guard tells the doctor they cut the food to start a riot. They wanted the weak players to be taken out by the strong ones. The guard then leaks the info about the next challenge. The lights are scheduled to go out in 30 minutes. Sang-woo knows Jang's crew is going to go on a killing spree. He tells his team to build a fort and stay awake. The doctor joins Jang's team and spills the beans about the next game. The lights go off and the dorm turns into a horror movie. Jang goes after Se-byuk, but Seong steps in to save her. The guards finally stop the riot. Only 80 people are still breathing. Game 3 requires teams of 10. Jang knows it's a strength game, so he kicks all the women out of his crew. He builds a team of the biggest guys he can find. Sang-woo's team is a mix of people, and they end up with Mineo. The game is tug of war on a platform way up in the air. Losers take a very long fall. Jang's team of meatheads wins easily. Then it's Sang-woo's turn. The old man, player 001, reveals he was a tug of war legend back in the day. He gives them a strategy to win using their weight instead of just muscle. They barely make it, but they survive. The lights are going to go out again soon. Sang-woo tells everyone to keep their guard up. They start taking shifts watching the door. Jang is paranoid that his own team is going to turn on him. Meanwhile, the doctor and guards are busy cutting up bodies. Guards 28 and 29 are on delivery duty. They talk about a zombie body that only had one kidney. Guard 29 is actually the undercover cop. He suspects they're talking about his brother. Because his brother also donated a kidney, The cop follows the other guard into the tunnels. He sees the explosives planted everywhere. The other guard tells him the whole place is rigged to blow. The cop tries to dig for more info. The guard gets suspicious and tells him to take off the mask. The cop pulls his gun instead. He demands to know who the zombie was. The guard tells him it was just some girl. He says all the real files are in the front man's office. Everything you want to know is in those archives. The cop finishes him off and heads for the office. On the other side, the doctor is demanding to know the next game. But the guards are clueless this time. The doctor loses it and ends up killing a guard while trying to escape. Another guard chases him into the playground. He's about to execute the doctor. But the front man shows up and kills them both for breaking the rules. He also finds the dead guard in the tunnel. Now he knows there's a mole in the building. The cop makes it to the archive room. He finds the records of every game ever played. He finds his brother's name on the list of past winners. The players are let out for Game 4. They're told to pick a partner they trust. Naturally, they pick their best friends. One woman, Ji Young, is left out because nobody wants the weak player. Then the bomb drops. They have to play against their partner. Winner takes all 10 marbles, loser gets shot. Sang-woo and Ali play a game of luck. Ali is actually winning, which is a problem for Sang-woo. Sang-woo realizes he's about to die. He plays the "we're brothers" card and tricks Ali. He swaps Ali's marbles for a bag of rocks. Sang-woo hands the real marbles to the guard and walks away. Ali realizes he's been betrayed by the one person he trusted. The old man, player 001, is losing his mind. He's wandering around like he's in a dream. Seong tries to play marbles with him, but the old man keeps winning. Seong starts cheating because he doesn't want to die. But the old man wasn't as confused as he looked. He had one marble left and he knew Seong was lying. He goes for another walk, and Seong begs him to finish the game. The old man looks him in the eye and says, "I know you cheated me. I played along because I wanted to have fun." Hearing this, Seong is crushed by the guilt. Se Byuk and Ji Young are also playing their own game. They decide to just talk for most of the time. When it's time to throw, Ji Young purposefully loses. Se Byuk tells her to try again, but Ji Young says, "You have a reason to leave. I have nothing. Your brother is waiting for you." Ji Young is eliminated. The survivors head back to the dorms, feeling like ghosts. Jang sees that Minyo is somehow still alive. She's just chilling there, which terrifies him. It turns out they had a thing, and she's out for revenge. The front man finds the cop's ID card. Then he gets word that the VIPs have arrived. These are the rich creeps who pay to watch people die. The front man goes to greet them. The VIPs get settled into their luxury boxes. The front man checks in with the big boss. We'll find out who that is soon enough. The next day is Game 5. They have to pick numbers from 1 to 16. Your number determines your turn. The first and last numbers are the ones nobody wants. Seong is stuck between the two. Pick one, and you're the guinea pig for the game. Pick 16, and you might run out of time. A guy steps up and begs for number 1. "I've never been first to anything," he says. They're taken to the glass bridge. The goal is to cross the bridge in time. There are 2 panels of glass for every step. One is tempered, one is normal glass. If you step on the wrong one, you're gravity's victim. The game starts and people start falling like rain. Jang gets to the middle and refuses to move. He's holding everyone up so they all die together. Minyo, the woman he betrayed, steps up. "I told you I'd kill you if you crossed me." She tackles him off the bridge and they both go down. One guy worked in a glass factory and can tell the difference. The front man realizes this and kills the lights. Now they're back to guessing. Sang-woo gets impatient and pushes the glass guy to check the path. Sang-woo, Seon, and Se-byuk make it across. But the bridge explodes at the end, showering them in glass. Se-byuk is seriously injured by a shard. Meanwhile, the cop has disguised himself as a servant. A VIP gets a little too close and asks him to unmask. The cop says, "Sure, let's go somewhere private first." He knocks the VIP out cold, but the front man finds out. The cop runs for it and ends up on a cliff. The front man corners him with a team of guards. The cop tries to call for backup, but there's zero signal on the island. He tries to send the evidence, but it's stuck on uploading. The front man tells him to surrender. The cop shoots him in the shoulder instead. The front man takes off his mask, and the cop realizes it's his own brother. The brother shoots the cop, and he falls into the ocean. Sae-byuk is in bad shape back at the dorm. She's losing a lot of blood. The final three are given a fancy steak dinner. They leave the knives on the table on purpose. They want them to finish each other off. Seong sees that Sae-byuk is fading fast. He tells her, "We're going to take down Sang-woo together. Then we'll split the cash and go home." Sae-byuk tells him about her brother in the orphanage. "If only one of us makes it, take care of my family. She's dying and needs help." Seong runs to get a guard, but when he gets back, Sang-woo has finished her off. The final day is here, the Squid Game. It's a brutal fight to the death in the rain. They beat each other senseless. In the end, Sang-woo is down and out. Seong says, "I'm calling the vote. Let's both go home." He tries to help Sang-woo up, but Sang-woo kills himself so Seong can get the money for their moms. The front man tells Seong, "Good job, I didn't think you had it in you." Seong is dropped back in the city with a bank card. He checks the balance and sees the billions in his account. He goes home, but his mom died while he was away. A year later, Seong is a wreck. He's traumatized and hasn't touched a cent of the money. A flower lady hands him another business card. It has an address on it. Seong goes to the building. He finds the old man, player 001, alive in a hospital bed. The old man admits he was the mastermind the whole time. "I was bored and rich, so I made this for fun. I wanted to see if people could still be good. I played because it's more fun than just watching." He tells Seong that money belongs to you now, then he dies. Seong finally snaps out of it and finds Sae-byuk's brother. He leaves the kid with Sang-woo's mom. He gives her a suitcase full of cash to take care of him. At the station, he sees the mystery man again. The guy who started this whole mess. Seong chases him, but the guy disappears into a train. Then Seong calls the number on the card. He asks them why they're doing this to people. "How can you play with lives like this?" The voice on the phone says, "Seong, just get on your plane and live your life." But Seong turns around and walks away from the plane. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.